Round 3.
It's who in that radio DJ tease.
I'm a radio DJ.
What it sounds like.
Disc jockey.
3.
Or the news channels, you know, when they're like, something in your house right now could be killing you. Tune in tonight. Like
Tonight
5
at
hours
10.
later.
And I'm like, what? Like,
Well, if it's killing me, man, let me know now.
right, I gotta wait 5 hours before you.
God.
Yeah. Suzume. Anime. We watched it.
We watched
I
it.
just realized that I have more props that I should have brought, but I didn't. Because the person who made this has made a bunch of movies.
Yeah.
And we've seen them in the theaters on the big screen and purchased them afterwards because they were so good.
I feel like you're going to go left.
What you mean? Like to the bathroom?
Maybe.
Um
Or that's where you're going to take this review. To the trash.
well, don't forget. Let's do this first 10 minutes spoiler free.
All right, I'll do the whole thing spoiler free if you want.
Because you don't remember what happened.
I've had a hard week.
Yeah, that's true. So I had props. I should have brought them, but I didn't. I forgot about them. But graphics were dope.
Loved the animation on this, whether it was still animation or they switched it into the CGI
Yeah.
animation. It flowed really well on
Where
this.
did you watch it? Just by chance?
I did Netflix.
Okay. So we were watching it on Crunchyroll.
Mhm.
And then it just started to just mess up, which is why I don't like streaming. I would have normally just bought the DVD and just watched that, the Blu-ray or whatever was the best quality that was out. It just started to like mess up. So then we switched over to Netflix, and it could just be my mind, but I don't think the graphics were as good on Netflix as they were on Crunchyroll.
Could be. I'd have to go back and check.
Yeah.
Well, one, I'd have to have. I don't want to do that right now. I was gonna say I'd have to have the want to do that
Yeah.
a second time. And it's not that this was bad, but there's nothing spectacular, and I'm saying it that way,
Yeah.
about this because it's first off Spider Girl Jr. here, who down to the missing parents and aunt taking care of her. That's not a spoiler or anything. That's just
Oh,
That's who the
I
character
forgot.
is.
Tell us what the movie's about. Why didn't you say nothing?
Oh, I don't know. Just letting you roll with it.
No. There's
go
no
ahead, go ahead.
rolling.
Okay, well, just
Tell everybody what the movie's
just
about.
a quick okay. So 17-year-old Suzume,
Okay.
she's the main character. We kind of go on an adventure with her. She runs into just kind of a stranger.
Stranger danger.
So Soda. What do we say, Sota?
Yeah, Sota.
chair.
So in she
Lazy boy.
it's really just like a casual passing, and then but I guess
Three-leg.
her curiosity gets to her, and she kind of checks out what this guy is doing in her town, which ends up leading to a whole adventure of her going all over Japan, because
No spoilers.
I know I'm trying to think of how to say this, but he has a purpose. You know, he's trying to handle some things to prevent other things from happening. She starts kind of helping him, but it's just kind of an adventure. They've kind of got to go multiple places to do this.
So I brought up the graphics first because I will continue to say this. Something like Weathering with You.
Yes.
There's another movie made by this same director. It was probably the best graphics I've ever seen. And it still might be the case. Only because, and it could just be fuzzy memory, but there was a lack of detail in the faces on the characters on this particular anime, on Suzume, that I don't think was missing in something like Your Name or Weathering with You. So that's the only knock I have to the graphics. Now I could be just misremembering it, and it was a different experience because we were able to see Weathering with You in the theater, right? This one I tried to see it in the theater. I remember when it was out, and I was just it just never popped up on my Cinemark app. Shout out. Like I looked over and over and over and over and over, and I could never find a showing or listing. So I don't know what was up with that. So it could have just been a different viewing experience.
I dug the graphics, like I said.
But no, they weren't bad.
Yeah, no.
I'm just saying I may have seen better. They don't take the top spot for me, but another movie that this person made does.
The palettes that the director chooses is very specific, and I mean that the color scheme of this entire thing was just beautiful.
Right.
No, you're right. Maybe that the faces weren't as detailed, but to have as much detailed scenery behind them was pretty impressive. Like I was, again, seeing the blend of the animation styles between CGI versus traditional. They have a really good mix here. And I love seeing it. It never felt as simple as some of the highway scenes, just them driving. It never felt.
I felt like they properly used CGI.
Yeah,
and or the CGI that they did use was close to perfection as you're going to get.
Yeah. Right.
So maybe it wasn't everything was CGI, right? It was just certain things, and then they did those certain things very well.
Yeah.
Right. So the placement and when they used it and where they used it was like on point.
I almost feel, and I don't know if you'll get this reference. Maybe you will. I know you will get this reference.
Something old.
It is something old. I almost feel like this guy is like the John Hughes of anime.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right?
Who's John Hughes?
Director from the 80s, did a lot of coming of age stories.
Brat Pack.
A lot of coming of age stories.
I said that to him yesterday. He goes, "Who's a Brat Pack?" I was like, "Oh my gosh."
But I'm glad to see that we're right here on it.
Yeah.
Because it's really is that feeling of, I'm going to tell you this coming of age story with a cool wraparound on how we address it. But at the end of the day, this is still this, young woman traveling countryside to discover who she is, and even to a certain point, why she is, not just who, but kind of that why. So it is to me, it was very John Hughesy. And I was like, it's kind of interesting. I never really.
Well, and this director is reputable like John Hughes.
Yeah.
I mean, people came to expect, and it wasn't like John Hughes had like super high quality films. It's that he spoke to a generation of people, and that audience like just loved him in the films that he made.
Yep.
And this, by the way, is because of, I'm sure it has to do with the previous works of art of Weathering with You and Your Name or whatever. This movie grossed over $300 million.
Oh, there you go.
And was like the fourth highest grossing Japanese film made. So it did really well.
I think it won Anime of the Year at the Crunchyroll Awards.
And it was up for a Golden Globe Award and 7 nominations for the Annie Awards. I didn't even know it was a thing. Annie, like ANNIE.
Those are your awards, right?
Yes, my awards.
No, it's not unbiased Annie Awards.
I know, but still.
So don't try to take credit.
I'm just saying.
The UBAs? It's not the UBAs?
No.
So without spoilers, my problem with this was probably with the character development and I guess the overall story.
Yeah.
Am I wrong in saying it's cliched? I don't think I am. I mean, this felt very cliched.
I don't even think it was that, because I don't know what it was, because they didn't really go into it enough.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
but I don't think it was necessarily. I don't think it was about the story. It felt like the story of who I'm officially calling Chair. It felt like the story of what Chair started out went completely different into her own growing up and trying to get to her adulthood. And then they came back at the end to talk about what was really the whole focus of the story at the very beginning. Am I wrong on that? Like, that's how it felt.
Yeah. That's what happened.
Yeah.
But I guess I'm just used to his movies having a little bit more character development in the beginning. Yeah. I'll get into why I had a big problem with that once we get out of the spoiler-free zone. But generally speaking, did you like it? Would you recommend it to the average Joe?
To the average Joe, probably not.
Yeah.
I wouldn't either.
No, I wouldn't either. I would not recommend this to the average Joe. But did you like it?
It was okay. Like, I didn't hate it. And that says a lot, right? Like, me saying I don't hate it, like, it's okay. Like, if someone had this on the background and I was hearing it, I'd be fine with it. Or if it's playing in the background, whenever, I'm fine with it. But I'm not seeking this out to watch again. I'm not seeking it out to, tell a friend or two, like, hey, I think you should really watch this. It's pretty cool. It was just average.
Yeah, I wouldn't watch it again.
I will say though, for an art person, I would absolutely tell them to watch this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they're just looking for something, but again, I wouldn't. This would not even be my first recommendation when it comes to that. It would probably be Weathering with You, and then maybe this, right? What about you? Did you like it?
I basically feel the same exact way. Like it was okay. I mean, there is a level of quality to
Solo
it.
level?
No.
Okay.
There is a level of quality to it.
Yeah.
For sure. The
like
music,
undeniable, like this is one of the best visual things you'll ever watch in your life.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Right.
really good quality. The music, there's certain things that are just like, aesthetically, pleasing or whatever. But for the story, yeah, it's like, it's okay.
That's what I was going to say. Like, I didn't mind the voice acting, and I watched both dubbed and subbed. All the actors involved did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
Soundtrack and everything else, it was all up there. It was the story. The story just
and for this type
was light.
And for this type of movie, even though I feel like this actually probably had a little more action than one of his normal movies.
Yeah, for sure.
A little more action, not a lot of action. If you're looking for this is not.
Yeah, no.
This is not for you. If you're looking for super action packed, but it's more action than what he normally has. So, just generally speaking, though, for his type of film, the story has to be on point because it is more drama. It is more love story. It is more family entertainment, right? So the story has to be on point. Because you don't have anything else that can carry it outside of the graphics. But a 2-hour movie, how are you going to be captivated for 2? Are the graphics that good where it's just like I can't turn away from this for 2 hours? This one is a no for me when it comes to that.
Yeah,
I would have probably turned this off 30 minutes in. If it was just graphics only and I was only watching because of the graphics, I probably would have turned it off 35 minutes in.
My attention started to wane probably at about that 40-minute mark.
Yeah.
It was definitely one of those things where I was like, okay, well, yeah, it's interesting, I guess, but we're not really kind of focused back on that. I want to know more about this other, incidents that are going on that really, what did they talk about? Like 5 minutes to say what was going on, like collectively?
Well, let's go ahead and get into the spoiler, right? Where's my...
Spoiler alert.
Y'all got any last things before we go to the spoilers?
No, I think it's spoilers.